Morning everyone, hope you're well. Coming to you from the glass house that I use to get things going and growing, and then I bring items down to the potager, because as you know the potager greenhouse and that isn't up and running, so luckily enough the one that I have here is one that I've been loaned. So making the most of it. Come on and I'll give you a tour. I hope everyone survived Storm Horti. Hip hip hooray, or Storm George, depending on which version people are actually using. But anyway, come here. I hope everyone survived and things are as well as they can be. I've seen some social media tunnels down and more flooding. My goodness. So I hope you're all doing all right. Anyway, we'll do a tour here and let's see what's going on. So you can see this area. It's a little reclaimed area outside the glass house. As I say, this contains lots of bags and whatever of stuff, lots of pots. So I tidy them all up. Had that little bit of trellis, as you do. So I popped that in, and a little bit of staging, and you can see it's looking fairly respectable, isn't it? It's grand. It's grand. These pots, they're tulips, so we'll see if some colour. They've been in those pots about 7 years now, so we'll see if they'll produce any colour. They are some hostas going to come up. No sign of them yet, a bit too cold. A rhubarb that's been blown over, and some various other bits and pieces. So that's grand. A little bit of a display just to tidy it up. I'll come back to that in a minute. I'll talk about exactly what that is for, and that'll link into these little bellis perennis. Why they're there. But anyway, I was cleaning up here, and you can see it's not bad. Let me talk you through a couple of the items anyway, because I haven't started seed yet. I'm just about to, towards the middle of the week, but a little bit, tiny bit early. If I know that there's -2 temperatures coming down. I know some people have them sown already and have started stuff, but for me, between all the stuff I'm doing at the potager and organising here, I'm happy enough to get things started later in the week. But I have some sweet pea coming up. You can see they now need to be pinched back. I've one potted on, and I pinched them back by about half, unless of course the slugs get in and pinch them back for you. Little buggers. I had a good root through and pulled out some of them. Some strawberry plants, nice to see the fresh growth on it. And I was watching Jeff during the week, and he was pulling off some older leaves that had diseases on them, so I did that as well. Good tip there. You can see there is my garlic. Nice plants. I had them outside. I took them in just for one of the storms at the start of February, with the intention of putting them back out again, because I do like that bit of cold. But then of course I don't know what was it, Storm Kira or Dennis first, and then another one, and now we're just after finishing Horti, and it's like, oh my goodness. So anyway, they'll have to go out, because that's where the seed trays are going to be. So you can see it's a nice bit of space. So out they pop. I'll show you what I'll do on the next one around hardening off and putting things out. Now, after saying that, the glass house is, you know, what I'd call a cold house, because there's a few holes in it. Isn't that nice? Look, a lobelia still in flower from last week, or from last year. It's sort of holding its own, so it's earned its place. And some more bulbs coming up. Look at that for a seed tray. Woohoo! We're gonna have fun. This unit is the unit, I don't know if I showed it on YouTube. I definitely had it up on Twitter, but it's something I found in a skip. And on Twitter they were saying, no, it's a wash stand that people used to have like in their bedrooms. So I had it in the potager, so I'm after taking it in here, and it's a bit of a, you know, a display piece, isn't it? And some polyanthus in a bowl, Nice bit of a display feature, and I like the polyanthus rather than the primula, you know, the ones you're buying from the garden centres versus the small ones you're buying from the garden centres. I like the way they actually have the flowers pushed well above the foliage on the stem. I much prefer those to the lower down ones. I know the lower down ones are far more popular. This is Cleanthus, a lobster claw. You can see the flower buds on it, and it is quite tender. It's going to be -2, between -2 and -4 tonight. So that'll be covered with some fleece, even undercover here. Some bulbs that are coming up, they are some alliums, some of the ornamental, the purple ones, and there's some liliums. Again, slugs were in, so I went through, slugs went through. So after lifting them all, checking underneath pots and so on and so forth, just to get them all out. They are the Christmas azaleas. So they need to be potted on, and I've got a bit of feed for them as well. It's hard to know if they're worth saving from year to year, if they're, you know, if they get a bit of dieback like that, but big healthy ones there are very nice. And some more strawberries. They're the later summer flowering strawberries. And then on the ground, on the most part, what I did was I potted up the dahlias. Dahlias, 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 dahlias. Lots of dahlias. Now I haven't actually started watering the compost yet, just the way things are. So they're sort of sitting in dry-ish compost. Compost I use is a mixture of compost from the garden, bags topsoil I buy, and some manure that I buy. I mix them all. I have a particular mix that I use. A nice pot of tulips coming up. Some more dahlias, and this is a bag of treats. So there's some seed potatoes, some of the early ones. So they should be chitting now, but they're not, but I don't mind. They'll be chitting within the week. And some onion sets. Again, didn't have time this year to do onions from seed, which I like to do, but happy enough with those. And some of my own seed potatoes there. Satanza, their main crop, and they are disease resistant, which is great. So you can see plenty going on, and there's going to be more, and there's going to be more. So this particular unit is the top of a cylinder, a copper cylinder, and my dad, as you may know, because I know I've popped them up here a few times, does copper craft work, and he had actually put these legs on. So it had 3 legs, and I had some lovely hostas growing in them, because of course the hostas won't come up and attack them if they're in copper. But as you can see, they broke. One leg broke, one was bent, so it's been brought back. Instead of saying, well, what do we do with it? And I was saying to the master copper craftsman, I said, rather than put the legs back on, I said, if we come up with like a piece of tubing that it can sit into, I said, now that would actually see it right. So that's what he came up with. That's the center of that's the coil from the cylinders, the immersion cylinders, the copper cylinders. So the idea is that we'll tack that on there, and so it'll be nice and steady. So that'll be nice. So maybe some of those hostas will make their way in. I'm thinking while the hostas are coming on, I'll probably pop those bellis in. There's 6 of them there, so they'll make a lovely sort of crown of flowers for the spring anyway. So there you go, that's that. Cold. Anyway, thanks very much for stopping by. As always, make sure you subscribe, and thanks for hitting the like buttons already for those of you that do, and the comments and the chats. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell. And we'll see next week. I expect we'll be back down at the potager. I'll give you an update from there. Keep yourselves well in the meantime. And yes, that was the soundtrack of Rocket Man, or certainly one of the verse of Rocket Man that was in the background last week of the video, and I want to do some lyrics calling Garden Man and see where we go with that. And I know when Willie and Ryan were on last night on their live chat, Ryan was saying he'd help out with the lyrics as well, so I think we could have a bit of crack with it. And I'll put the links to their channels below here if I have the technology to do that and the know-how. Meantime, look after yourselves, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, bye.